Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and it's time to wrap up this week of movies that star WWE Hall of Famers, and we're going to be discussing our third documentary for the month, The Resurrection of Jake the Snake. Starring 2014 WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts, 2017 WWE Hall of Famer Diamond Dallas Page, and two-time WWE Hall of Famer Scott Hall, representing the 2014 and 2020 Hall of Fame classes. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, today we're going to be taking a look at our third documentary, The Resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts. Earlier in the month, we discussed Lipstick and Dynamite, about the ladies of professional wrestling, starring the fabulous Moolah and Mae Young. If you missed out on that one, we'll link it up here. And then last week, we also discussed the documentary The Price of Fame, starring the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, directed and produced by Ted DiBiase Jr., about the life of the $1 Million Man. If you missed out on that one, we'll link that one up here as well. But let's get into The Resurrection of Jake the Snake. Our film begins with an overview of the career of professional wrestler Jake Roberts, which is intercut with interviews from other wrestlers and WWE Hall of Famers, including the 2009 WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin, 2010 WWE Hall of Famer the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, 2011 WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, 2012 WWE Hall of Famer Edge, 2006 WWE Hall of Famer Mean Gene Okerlund, 2007 WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross, and others, who discuss Jake's career, beginning with his working as a top performer in the World Wrestling Federation during the 1980s, including performing at WrestleMania 3 in front of over 90,000 attendees. Now, Roberts suffers from alcoholism as well as personal demons, which caused his popularity and his career to decline. At an independent wrestling show in 2008, which was attended by 700 people, Jake is presumed to be drunk and disorderly during the match, struggling to last 30 seconds and becoming irritable towards the audience. As a result, the incident is covered by the online tabloid TMZ. Our movie then jumps to August of 2012 as professional wrestler Diamond Dallas Page, whom Roberts had mentored in the 1990s, travels to visit Jake at his home in Gainesville, Texas. Roberts is out of shape, struggling still with alcoholism, and reveals that he used crack cocaine just a month prior to DDP's visit. In October of 2012, at DDP's behest, Roberts moves into DDP's house in Atlanta, Georgia, which DDP calls the Accountability Crib, where Jake begins a rehabilitation program led by Page. Over the course of the program, Jake relapses several times, but Jake is able to improve his physical health, develops a better relationship with his estranged family, and gradually breaks free from his alcoholism. Several months into the program, Jake requires shoulder surgery in order to treat his shoulder impingement syndrome. Unfortunately, Jake has no insurance, so they decide to try and raise the money through crowdfunding. Miraculously, they reach their goal of $9,200 in only 2 days on Indiegogo. 15 weeks into Jake's program, professional wrestler Scott Hall joins the accountability crib as he has been facing similar struggles with addiction and is also physically out of shape. Throughout Jake's rehab program, he stays active by participating in fan meetings, podcasts, and other activities, including being inducted into the Cauliflower Alley Club. After 47 weeks, Jake moves into a house next door to DDP and continues the program. Throughout the movie, one of Jake's primary goals is to become healthy enough to be able to compete in the 2014 WWE Royal Rumble. And while he doesn't get to compete in the event, Jake is invited to a special old school Raw episode. Jake is told after participating in the old school Raw episode that he is going to be inducted into the 2014 WWE Hall of Fame class on the eve of WrestleMania 30, with DDP inducting him and alongside his program mate, Scott Hall, who is to be inducted by his longtime friend, Kevin Nash. We then see DDP, Jake, and Hall inside a wrestling ring discussing their lives and the program while facing off in a light-hearted match as the credits begin to roll and our movie comes to its end. This was a good one to really sit down and dive deep into. I knew some of Jake's story from having seen Beyond the Mat back in the late 90s. I knew about his struggles with drugs and alcoholism. I knew how estranged his family was from him. I knew that he had kind of gotten some stuff back together. I had seen his WWE produced bio that they had done DVD set, when he was kind of in and out of doing better and worse, and then he apparently did worse again. I forget what year they put it out. I know it was before all of this. I want to say it was probably like 2008, maybe 2007, 2008. And they put out their DVD about Jake the Snake. So I had seen a lot of his career and life retrospective there. But this was a good deep dive into his demons and trying to better himself. And then to see Scott Hall come in about halfway through, another man who, rest his soul, we lost him about a year ago, had a lot of the same issues that Jake did. And to see them be able to pull their lives together. And Scott's arriving at the program in a wheelchair. He's just that bad off. And then the credits begin to roll. You see Scott and Jake and Paige in a ring, and they're locking up and they're moving around and they're joking and having fun. And it's like to see someone go from being in a wheelchair to that. It's like, man, you can't discredit the stuff that DDP is doing with his program. DDP has found his second calling in life. And I discussed this a little bit last week on Open Mic Night. I think DDP deserves the Warrior Award. If not this year, the next year. But when you look at what he has done for the professional wrestlers that have had demons and how he's be able to help rid them of their demons, Jake, Scott, just between Jake and Scott, respectively. And I know he's dealt with some other people. I can't think of names off the top of my head, but you look at what he's done with Jake the Snake and Scott Hall. And yes, we lost Scott Hall, but it wasn't because of this. He didn't die of an overdose. He was able to get better. Things just caught up to him over the years. It's kind of the same thing that happened with Eddie Guerrero. We know Eddie had a troubled past, and his heart seized because of that, but it wasn't because he did something that day. He didn't overdose or anything. So DDP just deserves the Warrior Award. I'm curious to know what you guys think about that. Let me know in the comments. But when it comes to documentaries in general, it's got to be about something that I'm really interested in. Otherwise, you're going to lose me a lot of the time. Professional wrestling documentaries are easy to keep my attention. Um, Documentaries about music in general and especially specific bands, easy to keep my attention. Same thing when it comes to documentaries about Hollywood. You know, there's Hollywood in general ones, and then if you want to pick specific actors and actresses from the past and the present, both. There's certain people you're going to be able to pick that are going to keep my attention. I was never the biggest Jake the Snake fan because most of his glory days were before I came into stuff. My daughter's mom was a huge Jake fan, and I became more knowledgeable of his stuff from my time with her. But I was never the biggest Jake fan, so I was kind of unsure how I was going to react to this. But seeing his story and his struggle and seeing him overcome, and you look at where Jake is today, and man, if this is not a testament to the fact that people can change and rid themselves of their demons, I don't know what is. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. When it comes to my rating of the resurrection of Jake the Snake, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. I do. I mean, it's so good, so detailed. I highly recommend it to anybody. Those of you that have seen it, what do you think? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And it's new release Saturday. We had to throw Die Hard out because that was a TV show. So we decided to go and take a look at the Boston Strangler. This is either a Hulu or a Prime original movie. I don't remember. It's a Hulu original movie starring Keira Knightley, Carrie Coon, Alessandro Nivola, Chris Cooper, David Dastmalchian, Morgan Spector, Bill Camp, Robert John Burke, and Rory Cochrane. And then, and then, and then, later on in the evening, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network, multiverse of media, it'll be time for open mic and karaoke night. That's right, we have not one but 2 wheels this time. For a $5 donation, we will spin both wheels and determine who gets to sing and what genre they get to sing from, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, AEW, a Hall of Famer, Impact, a deceased superstar, etc. For a $20 super chat, you, the viewers, get to pick who sings. We will then spin the wheel to see what the genre is, and you, the viewer, can pick a song from the genre. So much fun is going to be had. Open mic night and karaoke this evening, 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 Eastern. Make sure you tune into the entire multiverse of media for that. You don't want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network, multiverse of media. We've got the Boston Strangler tomorrow for new release Saturday, and open mic night and karaoke. You're not going to want to miss any of those shenanigans tomorrow evening. So make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Statboy Sports Bar, open mic night, pay-per-view PLE coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of professional wrestling, fans of documentaries, fans of Diamond Dallas Page, Scott Hall, or our subject, Jake the Snake Roberts. Anybody that you could think of that would enjoy this content in this video, share it with them. It's the only way we're going to boost up my visibility in YouTube's algorithms so I can eventually get monetized and begin making money on the hard work I've put into this channel for the last 2 years. Thank you once again, everyone who joined me and tuned in today. It means so much more to me than you'll ever know. And I will see you guys next time.